Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Hometown Musician Spotlight. Tonight, we're sitting with the Hendrix Effect, the Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland area Jimi Hendrix tribute band. And I'd like to introduce from my left, guitarist and Jimi Hendrix himself,
Yeah, way.
Paul Navarro. And in the middle, on the drums, Jesse Fernandez. And on the right, on the bass, it is Roger Maull. How you doing, guys?
Hey,
Good.
Great. Glad to be here. Thanks for joining us. So, I always like to ask where you guys started your musical journey. So, I don't know which one wants to start, but how about you, Roger? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school?
I was born at the Hammond Clinic on Kaiman Avenue, and I lived down in Cedar Lake. I grew up with my dad was a musician, and there was always music equipment in the living room, a jazz band in the living room. I'd get drug out school nights to go jam somewhere, and the guys would be showing up at midnight, and they'd just play till 2, 3 a.m. Then I'd be sleeping there. And then I met Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, 90s, mid 90s.
Yeah, latter part of high school there.
Yeah, he had a Fender Bronco amp, 15 watts or whatever that was. You were like, man, you play great, but get a bigger amp.
I'm back to a little tiny amp again, but they're much louder these days, so it makes sense.
We played a lot together, but we also went our separate parenthood ways and stuff. And he played a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
I played a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, my first band was joining Roger's band in the garage, punk rock in high school. And here we are 45 years later. I think we're still in the garage.
Right.
Those are the best times.
What about you, Jesse?
Yeah. Jesse, how about you?
Man, you guys were jamming in the early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I was born Halloween of 1989, and I was a breech baby. I was upright in my mom like this, playing the drums on the inside, and I think might have been why I have such a liking for the drums. Now I've been playing since I was 11 years old, so I'm 35 now. I've been playing for 24 years.
Did she buy you the first kit?
Yeah, that's actually the kit.
That's right behind you.
That's the kit. That's the first kit she got for me. She knew just pots and pans when I was a baby. Eventually,
You can see how much we've progressed. They're still playing in the same garage.
We're back.
Yeah,
That's
we're
all
back.
it is.
Right. My domain, and my mom listened to all sort of Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath all the time, and I don't know if I was listening when I was inside or when I was growing up. She was jamming all the same music, and I don't know. I have a love for the music, man.
Yeah, well, you mentioned you have your first instrument right here. How about Roger, Paul? Do you remember or still have your first instrument that you picked up?
I wish it would, but it was a piece of junk harmony bass with action that tall.
You might still be in the bushes.
But I do have the first one that got me back in.
Okay.
I still have that, and it's sentimental. That's that Brown Ibanez that I got for $80, and I started playing in the gospel stuff again, and that was the first thing, and it got me rolling back again to playing.
I had one guest before who told me that the bug first caught him the first time he played the piano in the church. He says once he got the feeling that the bug bit him. Can any of you guys remember a moment in your life where just all of a sudden where you just, like the bug just bit you?
To play?
Yeah, where
you were going to be a
music
musician.
was just going to be a big part of your life where you just knew that, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
I still remember hearing the song Cashmere in my crib when I was 2, playing on a record player.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was it. But I'm getting hairs up on my arm thinking
about
about that. I remember the white teddy bear, the banana-shaped white teddy bear next to me while that came on. And that's crazy that I remember that. 2, 3 years old, something.
Jesse, was there any certain drummers that you did try to emulate, or even to this day, possibly?
It's hard to say exactly. Just there's so many great drummers out there, and as great as all of them are, I feel like I've just absorbed all the outside information and just try to make it my own. So that's a trick question. I bet a lot of people ask me, "Who's your favorite drummer?" Like, man, there's so many great ones. So, yeah, I just everything that I've listened to, I just let it channel through me and my own thing.
So Paul, when I've seen the band, one of the things that kind of is pretty cool is your voice.
Right.
You know, I mean, you emote a Jimi Hendrix-ish feeling to the song. So when was it in your life? You probably always liked Jimi Hendrix, but when was it that you decided we ought to do a Hendrix tribute?
That was Roger's idea, actually. I mean, I love the guy, of course, and I've played the songs before, but he brought it up, and he's like, how about we, try something like this just for jams, just for jam nights or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, that guitar would be cool. And he said, well, you have to sing. And this is actually the first outfit that I'm taking lead vocals on, that I take any measure of lead vocals on, sprinkled in here and there in the other bands. But so this is my first forte into any kind of lead vocal. So it's a totally new ground. But it's good that you put it, that I emote that. It sounds like a lot of his vocals, at least early on, are very attitude based. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I think you have to deliver it that way.
You sure do. You sure do. I noticed that at Greenstock, being up close to you guys, and you guys put out a lot of emotion that day too, which was a great festival. Here's a little something question I was thinking of. Does the Hendrix Effect have an alter ego? In other words, if you guys were to all of a sudden be another band, another 3-piece band, do you ever practice any other? Is there any other things in the works, so to say?
In the works? No.
No. So it's just strictly Hendrix Effect.
Yeah. We all have other things going on, maybe less to a lesser extent me, but Jesse on the side. Talk about the new outfit, man.
So I do have a death metal band called All Out of Gum, based on its reference in the movie They Live, where Roddy Piper, he goes in the story, he's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. And we just recorded 5 songs with one of our very good friends. He played in a band with Paul, with the 38 Things, the 90s alternative rock, whatever. And he produced our album, so we got a 5-song EP out. We just dropped one song on Spotify like a few days ago, and that's what I got going.
These guys are pro. They got this song out on Spotify. They're promoting. I think they got a show coming up at a theater.
The Hobart Art Theater. We just got booked a gig August 2nd for All Out of Gum at the Hobart Art Theater.
Speaking of Hobart Art Theater, you guys played there a few months ago, opening up for Jump, the Van Halen tribute band. What'd you get out of that experience?
Amazing.
Yeah, it was a good time, good sound.
Great time. And
good response.
Most definitely. And those guys did great. I could not believe all that. Dude's doing all acrobatic stuff, jumping up, doing the splits. Changed his outfit like 5 times, had giant furry boots on and like chaps on at one point.
High kicks.
Going on. That was a great time.
To be in the shadow of those pros, like working, the way they operated and did their things was just kind of just watching them do their things. Learned a lot just watching them put that show together and all that, and then talking to them backstage and stuff. They're really cool, and they're from Toledo, so they're not that far away. The singer's dad and mom were there, so they asked us to play a song because he was a Jimi Hendrix fan, so we snuck in. I think it was all on the Watchtower. Normally it wasn't on our list, but we were ahead of time. We're like, let's throw it in. Yeah. Roger's got a little outfit on the side. Brother Roger over here.
Oh yeah, Kings Highway Church, Gary, Indiana, 500 East Ridge Road. Okay. If you want to see some funky gospel music, man, we get down. We bang it out. And we go and play a couple other churches too. Okay. Usually we do like 2, but we got a guy Jack Whittle. He's a guitar player.
Jack.
I roped him in
tonight.
Yeah. I roped him in on guitar, and he's hooked. Yeah. And we got another guy, Robert, on keys, and then Josiah Harden, who's a famous YouTuber. He's on the Hammond B3 organ. Yeah. Oh man, we get down.
So I mean, he's having a blast doing the gospel gig. Jesse's got the death metal. On the side,
we're gonna do a gig together someday.
Triple bill. And on the side, I'm doing I'm hosting an open mic once a month called the Hendrix Jam over at Verona Pizza.
I hear that's a big success. I have friends that go there,
dude.
And I need to make my maiden voyage develop.
We try. So
go for one of his, man, because a lot of players show up at that one.
Yeah, Sergio Villani, you guys, Sergio, he comes all the
Great
time.
guitar player.
I mean, when he walks in the door, I'm like, you got to get on stage, take it. So it's love watching him play. I don't. When I host that night, I don't have Jesse and Roger with me playing there, but I bring in some other guys that I know that are some good friends, and we do the Hendrix songs. One of them is Matt Hebert, who was a guitar player with me in 38 Things. He also produced that album for Jesse. So he's an excellent bass player and a vocalist. And then I have Aaron Perry playing drums. And then every now and again, I'll bring in a guest bass player. I'll bring in a guest drummer. I've had Pamela Roca from Aftermath come in and play keys a couple times. So it's really, that's just a nice playground for playing some of the Hendrix tunes and a bunch of other classic rock at a jam night. And it's all ages. So we encourage youngsters to come down. I get some youngsters to come down and come and play. I invite them to all ages gigs. I ask them to sit in. I think we got a guy coming in next week that's going to sit in.
Yeah,
he's going to come in. He's played with us before too. So we try to get the youth involved because if we don't get them involved, if we miss out on them, then there ain't going to be no future for us when we can't move our fingers anymore.
Paul, you are absolutely right. I was going to ask that question to other artists that I've had, but now that you've touched on it, but I'm wondering if the Legion of Rock and Rollers, so to say, is coming up behind us. Well, I'm a what do you call a baby boomer? She's a Gen Xer, but I'm wondering if the crowds you're seeing are coming up in the ranks, for the rock and roll.
Dude, I would say these kids can play.
Yeah,
it's a lot different than when we had to rewind the tape over and over again. Now there's tutorials for everything on YouTube and stuff like that. These kids are coming in and mopping the floor.
For the ones that do pick up an instrument and keep it, they've got a lot of resources available to them, lessons and Zoom calls or YouTube videos, all that. We didn't have any of that stuff.
Right.
We had tape players or whatever.
You guys got a nice schedule coming up this summer and going into the early fall. Is there any specific shows that you're looking forward to, or maybe returns to any specific?
June 6th at Lake George in Hobart, Indiana.
Okay.
From 6 to 8.
Yeah, Lakefront Festival.
Lakefront Festival. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Isn't that a multiple band?
There's a country guy playing after
Nate
us.
Ventrelli is playing in the evening.
Gotcha.
We play first, and then Nate Ventrelli plays. But the Hobart Lakefront Festival is a huge festival. That's the first weekend in June, and I think it's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah. So
there's bands Thursday. We play Friday with Nate, and then there's bands Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. I think on Sunday there's like 5 bands. They start like 2
It's always. I live in Hobart, and that Blues Brothers band that was there a couple of years back. They had a car and everything. It was great. Oh man, it was so good. But yeah, it's a good turnout there. So I'm looking forward to that one too, because I live in the town.
Yeah.
So
before we get to a couple fun questions, does the Hendrix Effect have a longer term vision? What's your greatest vision for your band and the heights it can reach?
That'd be your answer.
I think being a regional theater band would be a pretty good goal to kind of just say, okay, that if we got there, then we could rethink beyond that. There's obviously a few theaters here home in the region. There's some in Michigan. There's some in Wisconsin, Illinois. Obviously, got the Chicago entire there. If we could get our way into some theaters there and put on some bigger shows, elevate the production. That is maybe a little bit more sophisticated of a light show, maybe a video screen that kind of goes with the music. We don't have pyrotechnics, but we have our like fog machine techniques that we use,
which is cool.
Yeah,
the purple.
The little
right.
So you can see us kind of trying to really push that out and go. We're ready for a bigger stage. We're ready to put on a bigger show than what we're doing here in the corner of the Smoky Bar.
I like that vision. Yeah. So a couple of questions I just like to ask at the end. Maybe it's more for my entertainment than anybody else, but so if you could play any venue in the world, any room, any place, past or present, what would that venue or room be?
Right. Yeah. I got it. He's got it.
I don't know.
You can answer.
You got it. That was great. You said the Coliseum of Pompeii.
Right.
Wow. That'd be great.
No, that would be
That'd be
That
awesome.
would
That
be
would
awesome
really-
for the sounds of Hendrix to be just resonating through all that would be cool, right?
That would be bad. That sure would. All right, and the last question, it's for all of you guys individually, but if you could trade places with any other musician for a whole weekend, past or present, dead or alive, for a whole weekend, who would that person
You mean like
be?
go play fill and bass for somebody?
Just be that person. I mean, after the show, before the show, when they go home for a whole weekend, live their life.
That's a tough question
That
because me,
is-
I'm fine with mine.
Hey,
you know what I
that's
mean?
the
You know
best
what I
answer.
mean?
That's
Right.
the best answer.
Like,
That's
I
sort
wouldn't
of what I
trade it for
was-
nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna lean into, man.
Yeah.
I love doing what I do,
Right.
man, and I just love the music, man.
All
What
right.
about you, Paul? You got anybody?
Nah, I
You
don't have
you want
anybody.
to be playing
I
for the
don't
Chili Peppers? You're
have-
not there?
I would. I guess I
For a
would.
weekend, you get to go back.
I mean, but it would be. I would trade places with John Frusciante, but it would suck because he's my favorite guitar player. So I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't get to hear him play. I would be able to play with Flea,
Right.
which is cool. But then I'm like, well, I want to hear. So maybe I'll just I'll fill in for Chad, and I'll play crappy drums, but I'll be able to hear them play.
Okay. So then, all right, what about a bass player? You just fill in on bass. That way you get to play.
But then I would take Flea's place so I could hear John, but then I can't hear Flea. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword.
And then I can't play Flea and I'll get booed off stage.
Well, guys, it really has been a pleasure. Thanks for letting me come out here and talk to you. I wish you guys nothing but the best on your dates this summer. And we're going to have to say goodbye for the night. And until next time, this is going to wrap it up for the Hometown Musician Spotlight. And until next time, peace, everybody.
Peace.
Hey,
Peace
peace out.
everybody.